Today, I'll be talking to Nim Stant, who is a successful author and founder of Go All In Media. I am so excited to talk to Nim about her journey from being an immigrant to becoming a successful entrepreneur. Let me briefly introduce Nim before I bring her on. Nim Stant is the founder of Go All In Media, an AZ Connect show producer and host air on ABC 15. She's also a success mentor and best-selling author and speaker, and also a yoga professional hailing from a third world country of Thailand and inspiring hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs to reinvent their businesses. Coming from a broken middle-class family has taught Nim to become a purpose-driven entrepreneur who always seeks to live the fullest potential. With 20 years of experience, she now dedicates her life to inspiring others to unleash their limiting beliefs, commit to their dreams and goals, and take real action. In her best-selling book, Go All In, Nim reveals the principles of Go All In to empower others to practice and step up to lifelong results. Nim has been featured in over 480 media sites such as CBS, ABC, Fox, NBC, plus so many other notable media outlets. Hi, Nim. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nafisa.
I just introduced you briefly, but you have such an impressive background. I'm so impressed with all that you've accomplished. But I want to know a little bit more about your history and your immigration journey from Thailand, and also some of the initial struggles that you had coming to the United States.
Well, it's a long story. So 21 years ago, I came to the US for the first time as a volunteer missionary from the church. And when I first came here, I did not speak much English because, we learn English in school, right? But just like you learn Chinese in school, but when you go to China, you just like have no idea how to speak. So I have to learn English very fast. I think within 8 weeks, we were at the missionary training center. Within 8 weeks, try to learn English. I work very hard. I always say that I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I am the hard workest person in the room. I work very, very hard. Listen, read, everything in English. So just like basically change my mindset of like, oh, I can't do it, to I gotta do it. So within a few months, I would say like 3 months, within 3 months, I feel more comfortable and more confident to speak to people. And that's how my journey started. I only have $300 to come here for the first time, and then the church helped taking care of everything. So I feel very blessed and thankful.
That is incredible. That's like a lot of the typical immigrant journey, right? We come here, we struggle, we work really hard. But the sad thing is immigrants get such a bad rap in this country. And there's a lot of fear that's generated about immigrants coming to the United States. But I'm guessing that like 99% of immigrants who come to this country contribute like you and I have and actually make this country a better place to be, right?
Yeah.
But like when I came to the United States, just like you, I was 9 years old, but when we came, I didn't speak any English. I didn't even know, I think I knew bathroom and banana. Those are the 2 words I knew.
Hey,
yeah, we didn't. We didn't. We weren't expecting to come to the United States. We left because of war. We left and like in the middle of the night, kind of that whole escape journey. So we didn't learn English back home in Afghanistan. So when we came here, it was a huge culture shock. And so you come here from Thailand, you had some of the same issues. Like for me, everything was foreign. And luckily you did speak some English, which was good.
Yeah.
But what really helped me,
I was 21. Yeah, when I first came here.
21 years old with $300 in your bank in your pocket. That's not a lot, and that's a scary place to be.
Yep. I even missed the flight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I missed the flight because like in LA, like before we get to the immigration, right? I was like no experience, never get on the airplane in my life before, never travel aboard before, right? So I was like waiting in the line behind the group of the Chinese tour, like 100 people there. And I'm just like, yeah, They stand over there, I'll stand with them, and it's made me late for the flight, right? Missed the flight, tried to catch the next flight, did not speak much English. It was exhausted. Yeah. I was scared.
It's hard, but people don't realize what it takes to come to this country. Like for me, I was lucky that I was young enough and we started school. I didn't speak any English the first couple of months of school at all. I mean, I literally am like sign language with my teacher about how I walk to school versus drive to school. But my cousins helped me, and then being in school kind of helped me. But what are some resources that kind of helped you navigate this new culture? Because I'm assuming, gosh, 21 years old. What do you know at 21 to a new country, new language, new culture? So tell me some of those struggles and what resources helped you guide this new country and this new culture.
I got to be thankful for the church because I feel like I got a great support from the church. We live in a nice apartment. When I say we, it's me, like myself and the other, like there's like young girl from all over the world came to United States, teach the gospel, explain to the tourists, to the people about the church and the choir, stuff like that. And I just feel like we are very blessed and be in a good place and saved, right? But I'm going to tell you this. That was for 2 years. And then I went back to Thailand. And then I live in India. I went to India after that in 2005 for 2 years. and that's helped me learn so much. Now, listen to this. Then I came back to United States because I got married at that time. And it was the real struggle. Like when I was the missionary, it's kind of like live in the bubble. You get the church taking care of you. But then when you came back, live in the real world. It was super, super hard. So I have a master's degree in Indian classical dance. And, I planned my life very well to be in Thailand, to teach at a university. I was very well known back there in Thailand. But then life did not happen the way you want it to happen, right? Because life has something for you. So I moved here to the United States, did not know what to do, how to start my career there. Here because my degree is very, very like specific, right? So I went to talk to Arizona State University. I talked to many different community college, and they all invite me to be guest instructor. But however, that's not a full-time job. That's not like something that I can rely on in terms of income. So then I have an invitation. Hey, can you teach yoga? Because they saw that I graduated from India. And I was like, sure, why not, right? So I was a fake yoga teacher for about 3 weeks. So I watched YouTube and then teach yoga. And then I realized I could not do that anymore. So then I went to a training. I got some certification and teach yoga. But the struggle was, getting paid $19 or $25 an hour is not enough to pay bills. Like as a yoga teacher at that time, I didn't get time to be with my kids and get time to have dinner with the family because yoga class always in the evening, right? So that was the real, real, real struggle. Now, before I left Thailand, my boss, so I work at the theater, and she's very well-known woman in Thailand, very wealthy, very, very successful. She said to me that when I moved to United States, I'm going to end up working at a grocery store, putting people food in the back, right? And I look at her into her eyes and I said, no, I'm not doing that. And I never been doing that. Not because it's a bad job or anything, but I know that there's something in my life that is bigger than that. Like I call this as a calling. I call this as a mission. So that's why I never quit. I never stop of what I want to do. So that is the I hope that is inspiration for the listener. Yeah.
So you were very well known in Thailand before you came here. Why did you choose to come and deal with all that struggle? Because there was that impression in Thailand that you go to America, you're going to be working in a grocery store.
Yeah.
What made you come here and take that risk?
Yeah. I was quite a big fish in Thailand, in a small country, right? Wow. So let me go back a little bit. Before I went to study in India, I have an opportunity to watch Indian classical dancer on stage in real time. And I was amazed. And I want to just like do what she can do because I have a dance background in Thai classical dance. So to study Indian dance is a dream for me and many students there in Thailand. So, and I said to myself and my classmate and my teacher at that time, I said, I'm going to go to India, study there someday, and come back to be the only one Indian classical dance teacher in Thailand, to be the only one, the one. And I did, you know, after 3 weeks after graduate, the university in Bangkok called me and I got a job right away, travel around the country. I was on TV and then married, right? The man, I follow the man. So I moved here to the United States, especially here in Arizona, because I got married and my husband at that time, he's from Arizona. So we just like, okay, we're going to establish the family here. Yeah, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here.
Well, you've accomplished a lot since you've been here. I mean, you went from wanting to be a classical dancer and kind of well-known in Thailand, but you're becoming well-known here in Arizona. You've been on a lot of media outlets. You've been recognized. I think in the interview, in the introduction, I said 480 media outlets you've been on so far. Can you tell me how did that 21-year-old Thai woman come to this country, not really know a lot about what's going on, except that she likes dance or she wants to teach yoga? What are some steps that you took to where you are today?
You know, I read tons of books. Number one, you got to educate yourself. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your pocket. It doesn't matter what degree you have, or, you know, you need to always keep educating yourself. And then really, I use the technique of reverse engineer, right? You got to know exactly what you want, what you really want. How bad do you want it? You need to know that exactly what you want, and don't even worry about how to get there. Not yet. It's not the time yet, but know exactly what you want. So I know exactly what I want. I want to be someone that can transform so many lives by my example, not just by my word, but what I do. And now I know that, like, people watching my journey, right? People watching that immigrant journey, the $300, the boss said you're going to end up working at a grocery store, you know, like, that is like, use it as something that help you keep going, right? Because the winner is the loser who try one more time. If you never stop, you're going to get there. You're going to win somehow. Just don't stop, right? It's not going to work because you stop, right? Again, let me say again, it's not going to work because you stop. So I know exactly what I want. And then I just do the reverse engineer. I start to look for people who can come in and help me. I start to connect with the people that know more than me, because you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I always said, if you enter into the room full of people, a lot of people in the room, and you found yourself that you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? So get there and learn as much as you can, and then find some help. My magic happened when I ask. You got to ask the right question to the right person. Find that time. Put yourself in the place where there's luck in there. Put yourself in that situation, right? But before that, prepare yourself to be ready. And again, you're never going to be ready, but prepare yourself as much as you can and put yourself in that situation that will bring you luck, right? And then you're going to get to where you want to go.
Well, there is also that a lot, like, I know when I was an immigrant and I had an accent, I was very insecure about my accent. People underestimated me. Even in graduate school, my professors underestimated me, that I was even going to get my doctorate, you know, like, oh, you're not going to get your doctorate. Even my high school counselor was like, you should just get married and forget about college because you don't speak English that well. And so there is that mentality, that mindset you have to overcome. Like, I have to be the smartest person in a room because people are going to judge me and think, oh, you're just some stupid immigrant, right? And so there's that mentality. And I love that you said that you don't have to be the smart, and you shouldn't be the smartest person in the room, and you should ask the right questions. So how is it that you as an immigrant felt confident enough to do that when a lot of us feel like we have to be 200% better than everybody else just to be able to be taken seriously?
I feel blessed. I feel like this is the blessing. Like I feel like this is in my DNA. Maybe because my life was so hard growing up. Like I want to go to the dance school. So 13 years old, my parent put me in the boarding school, the dance school. So I kind of raised myself growing up, have to like get food and managing money and watch clothes and everything, like put myself to sleep. I was 13,
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, boarding school in Thailand, don't think of like, you have someone to cook for you. You go to the cafeteria and food is right there. And no, you ride bicycle to the market. You get some fried rice and then you eat and then you go to school, put your uniform on and go to school just like that, because the dance school at that time is different town. So I think that discipline of being the classical dancer, right? You do the same thing over and over and then you polishing it. That's really a blessing for me. The struggle that I had since I was young is really turned into a blessing. But guess what? All of us are the immigrant, right? That we listen to this show right now. You all have struggled. Even people in the United States have struggled. Their life is so good. The playground is beautiful. They have car. They have like drive-through. Restaurant and bank, right? So use that as a tool to inspire you. The people that's more successful than you, they are not any smarter,
right?
But they think well, they plan well. And my question to you is, how bad do you want it?
Right.
Like, if you want it that bad, you're going to do whatever it takes, right? Your brain going to start working. This is the muscle right here to not just go to the gym and look nice and, arms and abs, whatever, right? The muscle here.
Build this first.
Every day. And I read the book that inspired me so much called Inner Side from John Assaraf. Hold on. I think his father is from Middle East as well. So John Assaraf.
He's from Israel, I think.
Something like that. Yeah. He like studied from so many neuroscientists, and he put together this book content so well. And in fact, I use the concept of inner side for my TED talk as well. So inner is, your thinking, your brain, right? Inside you and exercise, right? So you got to exercise your brain, exercise your mind, improving your mind all the time. And how can you do that? Is by creating the routine, right? Every day you plan and you do it, you read, you meditate if you need to, if you feel like that is helping you. My way of meditation is not sitting still. My way of meditation is when I'm on the wall, on the rock climbing gym.
Oh, wow.
Gym. Like yesterday, like my hand right now doesn't want to work. My right hand right now is feel like jelly, but like yesterday I was on the wall. Like, just as tall as like the building that have like 3 levels, like it's very tall, very high. And I was on the wall and I was like, okay, I think I can't make it to the top. I'm going to come down, right? Like those self-talk, my hand was shaking, my legs were shaking. I feel so thirsty. And I'm just like, this is so high, I can't look down. But then that is my meditation. When I say to myself, stay still, be still. And then I have more energy. So the inner side, the brain exercise, the mindset is really, really a great tool. It's our weapon to keep going.
Yes, I love what John Assaraf. John Assaraf was actually in the movie The Secret. Yeah. And he did that whole vision board thing. And vision boarding is another really good strategy for people to put together. And I know when people are recent immigrants, they are in survival mode and they are trying to make it and trying to figure their way out. But like you said, you also have to start planting that vision in your mind and get really clear about what you want. And then what are the steps you need to get there, and not to get sidetracked by I don't speak English well enough, or I'm not that knowledgeable. Well, go to the library and check out some books, right? Whether that's in your language or even online nowadays, you can get a
Yeah.
lot of books in your language that you are
Well,
fluent in and read
right.
that.
Well, I mean, as you're listening to me, you can tell that my English is not perfect, but do I let it stopping me? No, never. Right? I actually having fun. I don't know. I just don't think the same, like, I have someone said, oh, I got to go back to school. I got to take some class, some community class and learn English class. And I said, what do you want to learn from the class? I said, why don't you just like save your time, just go do what you want to do and use the English that you have, right? I mean, for me, I don't mind about my accent. I think it's kind of sexy. I have people tell me that it's so sexy,
Sofia Vergara, right, on a Modern Family, she became famous because of her accent.
Right? She even make fun of her accent. Like my kids make fun of my accent. And I was like, guess what? It's never gonna go away. So now that we know it's never gonna go away, then just go out and do it, right? And I think a lot of time, and even the Americans too, like human, right? We forget that we can't do things alone. Like if you want to go to the next level, if you want to do something you never done, are you doing it alone? Because that is not a smart choice, right? So the power of ask is very, very important key. So ask for help, but you got to ask the right person. But when you ask, you don't, how can I say this? People around you don't need to believe in your vision. Everybody have a big dream. Like you dream something, right? Maybe you dream to be a housewife that doesn't have to worry about financial, right? But you just want to spend time with your kids, right? And don't even worry how can you pay the next bill, right? So if you dream that, I mean, it's your dream, it's your vision. You need to select who you're gonna tell your vision to, right? Because people around you would just laugh and say, no, 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 you still gotta go to the job, go to the market and find whatever it is, right? Then like I have a big dream, like speaking on stage and share my message on TV, writing a book, impact so many people from my message. But when I first start, right, nobody see that success. Nobody believe in me. And I was upset. I was like so discouraged, right? And disappointed. Disappointed in people around me that I thought they're gonna come in and support me or help me or say something nice about it, right? Even someone that really, really loved me said to me that, like, stop following your dream, spending money, learning, just go get a job, like go get a real job. And I was like, what's the real job? So, but then later on I get smarter and I realized that it's not their fault because it's not their dream. Therefore, it's not their responsibility to understand and believe what you believe. Yeah.
And you're right. Steve Harvey mentions the same thing. If you have a real deep dream, hold it close to your heart and don't share it with just anybody, because there are a lot of people that feel threatened or they don't understand and they're going to want to squash your dream and pull you back down. Like I was also, I was kind of angry when people told me that I couldn't get a degree, like a higher degree or go to college. And I was like, watch me. Like every time somebody's told me I couldn't do something, it was my that fierce rebellious self of me that comes out and says, watch me. And I do it to prove them wrong, because I haven't had people believe in my dreams, and I've had to do it myself. And like you said, there are a lot of people that might be in survival mode that nobody's going to tell them that, yeah, go pursue that TEDx talk you want to do and go be an entrepreneur. No, they're like, no, you got to bring money on the table and you need to go get a real job, because they can't see your dream. So I love that you mentioned that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not their fault.
It's not. No, and it's not their responsibility to be your fan and to inspire you and encourage you to go reach your dreams. It's on you, right? You have to do that.
Yeah, like even my mom, after a few years I became successful, my mom said, Nim, I never thought you can be this. Like, yeah, I never thought that this will happen. You know, I saw you try, saw you try. So I'm just like, good to hear that. But, you know, but yeah, because again, I think it's especially came from Asia, right? Came from Thailand. A lot of Thai women that move here to United States or live in Europe, uh, basically they married with, you know, the guy from that country, right? And maybe they want a few, you know, a few $1,000s a month for like extra. They just go to work at a Thai restaurant or go to the massage place and work there, nails and spa and stuff like that, right? I never look down at them, but I also know that we can do more. We can do more.
Right.
And as I talk to many of them, because they watch my TED talk and they feel inspired that like Thai women, right, get on the stage. They're very well known and recognized by many people here, right? And there's like, wow, how do you overcome that? You know, because like I just thought that I worth only to work at the Thai restaurant. And I said, no, like, you know, if you have the desire to do something and be something, that's mean God or the universe prepare that for you. It's for you. If you want it, that's mean it's for you, not for me, not for anyone else. But if your dream is to bake a cake, and even Oprah said this, you know, like if your dream is like bake a cake and you feel so happy and fulfilled when you see people eat your cupcake, and that is good enough, then do it the best you can. Be that good, right?
But I feel like you carved a new path for not just Thai women, but a lot of women where they come to this country, they think, yeah, I am limited to the restaurant, to the nail parlor, to the massage parlor. Those are the things that all the other women do. That's why I have to do that. But now they're looking at, oh, there is another way. It might
Yes,
be a harder way, but there is another way.
yes. Yes. That's right. 100%. So you never know what you do, right? Can people watching you like each day on my social media, you know, like that's how we met, right? Like I have a lot of Filipinos women message me and said, "Wow, Nim, like I'm just like afraid to go live on social media or recording my video, put my video on YouTube, whatever it is, because I have accent." And I said, "Guess what? It's never gonna go away. It's too late. Just go do it."
Just
You
do it
know, for
anyway.
me, as long as people understand how what I want to say, then I'm fine.
But I
Yeah.
think you mentioned something, and this is something that a lot of I've been telling my daughter since she was little. The one of the number one predictors of success for women is reading and journaling, right? Because that builds two very important skills: your writing and your reading skills. And so you read a lot when you came here. You read a lot of different types of books, and that helped you build your vocabulary. You might have an accent, but you're not short on words, right? You know how to communicate, you know how to express yourself.
Yes, and especially when I get mad and I argue with people, oh boy, my English is like amazing. I have so much fun speaking fast. Yesterday I was arguing with one person on the phone in English. Oh boy, like my mind, my blood pump, and it's just like fresh, and it was very fun. You know, like just use English, no problem, and don't think that like people who from here they're better than us. Well, they're better in terms of they were born here, the opportunities that they have, like my daughter, like my son is in seventh grade right now, right, and he learned way better than how I grew up and learned at school in Thailand, you know. And I'm just like I'm happy for you, but I also not worry if you don't get a good grade, because the world's changed. Like you don't need a degree. I used to believe that you got to have a degree. A certain industry, a certain, you know,
Right.
profession, yes, like be a doctor, go to school and be a doctor, because I would not trust you if you just like, hey, I learned online how to be a
Oh,
doctor, right?
on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, right. I would not go to you know, dentist or whatever, lawyer, you know. But there's so many job opening. even create a job for yourself. Like I create a job for myself. And this happened just during the COVID. So I was one of the success story from COVID. And I got a lot of people like come out and say, how long have you been doing the book writing and publishing? And I said, 2 years,
Wow.
just during COVID. It's happened during COVID because I decide to go all in. I decide that this is it. Like, because I almost filed a bankruptcy before COVID, during COVID, when COVID first started. And I'm just like, what is the other way,
So you just burned the boats and said, this is it. We're going to make it, right? And you went all in, like you just said.
Well, so I host a yoga retreat, and I just signed a contract, like 13 different countries around the world to travel and host a yoga retreat. And I have people sign up to go with me throughout 2 years, 2020 and 2021. And I have to refund all the money back to them because of the COVID. And I did not have that.
Wow.
I was working very hard. I was driving and crying and apply for job like at Costco, like Taco Bell, like Sprout, Walmart, Amazon, like that was like 2 years ago.
Wow.
That was my story, and my American friend said, Nim, do you know that you can file the bankruptcy? And it's like, that word hit me hard. And then one of my friends took me to Costco to meet with a supervisor for a job. And he said, Nim, that's why I don't follow my passion anymore. And I was like, these two guys said this to me. Like, one, you can file a bankruptcy. The other one said, that's why I don't follow my passion anymore. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing the grocery store. Right? So then I started putting my words together, and I wrote this book, Go All In. Yeah.
Love the cover. Yes.
Yeah. And the cover was the picture that I was going to open a yoga studio in Gilbert.
Wow.
I never get to open. So I just used the picture for the book. And
you pivoted. You had a certain direction and that wasn't working. So you pivoted and went in a different direction.
Right. And again, remember at the beginning of the interview, I said, failure is the loser who try one more time.
Right.
And that's what I say it everywhere. Failure is the loser who try one more time. And then in here, it said, what you seek is seeking you, from Rumi. So everyone that listens to this, what you seek is seeking you. I interview almost everyone from the movie The Secret, including John Ezra, because I have that vision. I put their face on my desktop as a vision board, the digital vision board. And I said, I want to interview all of them.
Wow.
And they come to me. They come to me. We are the magnet of what we want. So you better think good. Right?
I'm a big believer in all that. I love that. So tell me a little bit about your book, Go All In. What is it, and how can people find it? Where can people find it?
Yeah, the word Go All In is the opposite of work-life balance. I'm sorry to say this. I think work-life balance is the old concept that maybe not working anymore, right? For me, I translate work-life balance is juggling. Like, I'm trying to work, but also I have my kids. Oh, I got to take my kids to piano and swing lesson. Oh, but, my work's not done yet.
You're scattered.
Yeah, you're juggling things. You try to, but I want work-life, but I haven't gone to the gym yet, So how about set up the day that you want it to happen? Like, you know how you want your day to go, and then focus. Like, I'm with you right now, and I turn off my phone. I turn off, like, I don't even wear my Apple Watch because I do not want anyone to disturb me. I don't want to get any notification. So that is the full focus. Go all in. So do one thing 100% at a time. All in, 100%, full focus. And then when you're with your kids, full focus too. And guess what? I'm not perfect. I'm still not perfect. Like, when I'm with my kids sometimes, I just have to look at my phone too. But I am working on it. Right? So this book, Go All In, for everyone. You can apply to use in your life. You can use it in your business. It's a lot of mindset technique in here. How to find a mentor. The concept that I really like is commit first, figuring out later. Right? So again, you don't know how to do it, but you say, you do it. first, right? I'm gonna do it, and then you can figure out later, because that's how life is.
Well, that was also the main message in The Secret, right? You don't need to know the how. You just need to figure out what you want to do and have that clear vision. Like if
Right.
I want to go from here to New York, I have to hold New York in my vision, and then the how will reveal itself.
Exactly.
I get in that car, right?
Right, because if you still try to figure out a how first, how do you know that that's the right answer?
Right.
Because you never done it. So,
But also, you're not going to pivot like you did, because you had one vision in your mind, like I want to be a successful yoga retreat person. That wasn't the thing for you, and so you had to pivot. And when we are so committed to the how, we don't pivot, right? We become too rigid.
right. And see, when everybody depressed and stressed and complain about COVID, complain about toilet paper, complain about they can't get out of the house, complain and afraid to die, I wrote a book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You made the most of it.
Yeah, and just right now too, right? The people complain that, oh, the house is so expensive, gas is out of control. Well, keep working.
Yeah.
Don't sleep, don't complain, just work.
I'm a big fan of sleeping, but figure out how to sleep and then make the most of the times that you're awake, right? Don't waste
Right.
it scrolling on social media or watching YouTube all day long.
Yeah, and from what I meant by sleep is that you take your mind to somewhere else that distracting you, right?
During the day, yeah.
So
Well,
you can find Go All In on Amazon. Just you can type the word Nim Stant, and you'll find my 3 books that I have over there right now. One is The Yoga Journey. That was my first book. The second one is Go All In, and then the third one is You Were Made to Be Unstoppable.
wow, powerful words. So having the 3 books and having kids and having a social life and having all of this other success as an entrepreneur, is there something that keeps you grounded? Like, do you have a morning routine, and how do you prioritize? Like you said, there's no such thing as work-life balance. There is about prioritization and how do we manage the same 24 hours we all get, right? What is it that kind of helps set the tone for the rest of your day?
I listen to motivational speech every morning before I check my social media, before I check my likes, before I check my comments and everything. So I need that. And I do not talk to anybody on the phone before 8:30. I don't answer message or anything. So that's how I set my tone. Otherwise, do you feel like you get frustrated? Like when you first start, like check your phone and stuff, and you get frustrated, and then the whole day just like ruined like that. So the night before, I kind of close my eyes and I make sure what I want the next day to look like, and then making the decision of like, how do you want your day to look like the night before is very powerful. And then you're the one who control, not life control it. Like you're the one that managing it, and not letting anyone else control it.
I'm a big fan of having a very slow morning. Like you said, you listen to the motivational interviews or talks or speeches. I like to go for a walk or do like you mentioned, guided your meditation is rock climbing. A lot of people don't realize that washing dishes can be meditation, ironing can be meditation. It's anything that's putting you in that zone. For me, I could do Qigong is a really good form of meditation because it's short, it's quick, but it also is moving. I can't just sit there. So finding that for yourself, but also the reason I asked that is a lot of times we look at like the super successful people and we think, well, they're different from me. That's why they're successful. But if we really break down the commitments that they make, the choices that they make daily, it's very easy for us to emulate that, right?
Right. Yeah, for me, like it's everything, work-life balance for me is like overall 360. Like you got to eat healthy food too, because if you feed your brain, your mind very well, what about your body, right? So like a simple basic, and everyone, you hear this all the time, right? uh, Eating healthy, exercise every day, take a good rest, go for a walk, have a positive mindset. Like this thing is real. It sounds like a checklist, but when you make the decision to do it, that is the key to change your life. Like if you are entrepreneur, like don't just sit down and work in front of a computer all day. Take a break, breaking up your day, and just go out and do something else too. Yeah.
It's so important. My motto is to prioritize our mental health 24/7, because as a psychologist, what I notice is a lot of people get stuck with anxiety and depression because they're not taking care of their body. They're not taking care of their mind. They're neglecting themselves. Self-care goes out the window because they're work, 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 work. And so when you don't take care of yourself, how is your body and your mind supposed to work for you?
Right. Yeah. And it's very interesting. My 12 years old son, last week, he said, Mom, do you know music affect emotional health a lot? Ooh. And I was like, where do you learn this? Is it from your science class or what is it? So he said he learned from the class. And I said, it's so true. And my kids always ask me like, what's going on, Mom? Why are you listening to love music? Right? Because I said, well, because I want to feel love, because I want to feel excited. I want to feel like fresh air. Like, I don't want to listen to sad music.
Right.
Right. So that is the message that you bring into your brain, and you train your brain all the time. So again, like listen to a podcast, listen to motivational speech, listen to some music that uplift you, right? Because that like overall mental and emotional health. So that's very, very important.
Speaking of that, Dr. Wayne Dyer shares a story with his son about how he takes a CD, like a hardcore, I don't know if it was rap music or whatever it was, Little Wayne or whatever it was, and he takes a CD of like classical music versus like a hardcore, right, not so happy music, and he does muscle testing just holding the CD.
Really?
And the muscles respond to the energy of that CD. I mean, that might sound too woo for some people, but you're right. Music does affect us. When we listen to uplifting, positive music, we do feel more positive and more motivated. But when we're listening to songs about depression and sadness and suicide, that brings us down.
Yeah, yeah. And, go back to the immigrant, right? We all are human. The difference is just where we came from. But to focus on where we're going is the key, right? So don't dwell in where we came from so much. Don't let it to be in your way and stopping you. Oh yeah, I can't. Like I said that, when I speak on stage or interview, I said I came from the third world country of Thailand. Like I say that because I want to set the tone of my speech and kind of quick introduction for people to know me. But then I did not dwell in that. I used to, though. I even used to think that I'm not smart enough to drive the car on the freeway. Like when I drive the car on the freeway, I was like holding my steering wheel and say, yeah, you go first because you're smarter. You're
better. Yeah.
Better. You go first. I'm just wait, like I was like that. But learn and find a way to claim your power, because the way we claim our power is different, right? Each one of us claim it differently. Find a way to claim your power. It can be, again, listen to motivational speech or read good book or find some mentor or whatever it is, right? Ask for help. Then don't dwell in where you came from. Use it as the place where it will inspire you to get to where you want to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that could have been the training ground. Like if you didn't have that hunger for success in Thailand, you wouldn't have made it in this country. And that's what's happening to a lot of like second and third generation Afghans in this country that I'm noticing. Like we came here, we had nobody as role models. We just knew school was important and you're going to get an education. But a lot of the second and third generation, because I used to work in the schools, and I would get so frustrated with these kids that are from Afghanistan that weren't taking advantage of the education. I'm like, do you realize what people are going through back home to get an education. Right now, the kids don't even have, the girls don't even have access to school, and you're wasting it here. And so I think that hunger is something we can build on and really motivate us to do better once we do come here and take advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah, and again, you know, you might say, "Oh, I don't know what I want, Nim. How can I do that? How can I start?" Right? Well, then start something, and then for a while you will know if you like it, if you want it, you know. And then if you don't want it, if you don't like it anymore, then go find something else. Keep failing, you know. Then you're gonna find at least one thing that is a gift, and you're good at it, and it's for you in this life, right? We all have that. That's for sure. We all have it. Our job, our responsibility, our obligation is to find it.
I love what you said. Keep failing, keep trying, because you're failing forward. I love that concept of failing forward. You try something and then you're like, this isn't for me. The way that I figured that out is I went to community college and I took all kinds of classes. I took music classes, art classes, astronomy. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I mean, like I said, we had no role models as to what I could be. And so I just took all kinds of classes and tried different things until I landed on psychology. But I didn't even know what psychology was when I went to college. And so it's a matter of like trying different things and seeing what sparks that passion inside of you and then what are you willing to do to get it.
Well, you got to look at me, right? Like I have a bachelor degree in Thai classical dance. I was like the top of the department. I had a master degree in Indian classical. I was the top of the department. Like I won all the Indian dancer at the university. And then you know, just prepare myself to be professional dancer and choreographer and work at the university. Now, you know, then I was a yoga teacher. I trained from like the world-class yoga teacher before. You know, I practiced yoga. My body can do so many amazing things. And now I write a book and I teach people how to write a book. What the heck? Like I never learned, you know, I had a friend who was a news reporter from New York Times. She said to me, Nim, do you understand that people go to school and get a degree to do what you do? And I was like, I don't know. And I don't care.
You weren't afraid to fail. You just wanted to keep trying different things.
Yeah. And I'm even amazed of myself and surprised. Like, how can I explain to my client in the way that they like, wow, I never thought about that before. You know, and my client, they are like pilot or doctor or attorney or real estate agent, like the CEO, they're like high profile, the very educated people. And I'm just like, I never have a degree in writing or, you know, journalism or anything. But here's the key. I'm not afraid to fall. And I ask people who are smarter than me to come help me. We have book coach, we have editor, we have, you know, anyone that know about publishing industry to come and work with us. And that is the key. Like, I don't need to be the smartest, right? But people sign up to work with me because they listen to the journey, right? And then they know that I can help them get to where they want to go in this journey too. So it's very cool. So you don't need to know the how, you know. And I discover my gift after I fall so many times, right? As a dancer, as a yoga teacher, like I discover my gift now that this is in me that I never known before.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So what are there any books that you would recommend somebody to start reading just to learn about life besides the go all in, definitely. Anything else that inspired you that really made a difference? Like one of them is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill that I really, really love. But are there any other books?
Yeah, I love The Science of Getting Rich. And again, like we're talking about getting rich, become successful. It's not about the number, right?
Not about money. Yeah.
Like I admire those who came from scratch, who came from homeless and become a billionaire, whatever it is, because they improve their life so much. And guess what? We only gonna have one lifetime. Why not improve it right now, right?
Right.
The other book that I would recommend is from Michael A. Singer, U Square. U Square is very, very thin book, probably like 30, 40 pages. You can read it and finish it in one day. It's talking about the quantum leap strategy, and that's part of the inspiration to write Go All In as well. Basically, going step by step is a trap. Okay, let me say again. If you say, yeah, I'm just going to go step by step, I'm going to go with the flow. Well, that's the excuse, and that's bullshit, right? I'm sorry for my language. You know, like going step by step is a trap. You need, again, you need to know where you want to go, and you jump right there. You take that leap, that quantum leap, you know, because again, they're going to be struggle anyway. Do you think that going step by step not going to be struggling? Like, no, it's going to be challenging and struggling along the way anyway. Why not shorten the time, shorten the gap, find the people that can help you get to your goal and do it today.
Right. You mentioned the science of getting rich, and I said think and grow rich. A lot of people think that that's all about getting money, and I love that Napoleon Hill does break it down that getting money is the last pillar of think and grow rich. Right.
It's the result.
Right, but there's the relationship richness, there's mental peace, there's so many other ways that we can feel rich in our lives besides money. And that's what these books teach us. And how do we make the most out of our life and create a happier, more fulfilling world for ourselves? And that's what you were just saying. We have control over that. We have to get clear about our vision and then go all in, take that leap.
Yep.
And know that there's going to be struggle. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I really hope that this interview will inspire so many of your audience, seriously, because again, forget about you are an immigrant. You know, you are a human being that being called to do something greater than you ever thought. So then go ahead and do it. Don't waste your time.
Yeah. What advice would you have for your younger self, knowing what you know now? What advice would you have for somebody that's even thinking about coming to this country or is new to this country, or even you before you even found your way? What advice would you have?
I would tell her, Nim, you don't need to be scared because you can do it. You're strong enough. You don't need to be scared.
And you don't need to know everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that was wonderful. Where can people find you? And if they want to work with you, how can people connect with you?
That's awesome. Yeah. From the website is nimstant.com. Just my name, nimstant.com. You can even Google me, just Nim Stant. And Instagram is Nim_Stant. Facebook, Nim Stant International. And YouTube is Go All In TV.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time today and for your words of wisdom. And I'm so proud of everything you've accomplished. You are an inspiration for a lot of people that feel like, oh, I'm just an immigrant. I have to deal with my lot in life. Well, no, you can reach higher and you can actually accomplish your goals. And so thank you for the time.
Thank you so much too. Yeah, because you cannot choose where you come from. You cannot choose, but you can choose where you're going. So
definitely
choose it right. You better choose good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you
so much for your time. It's an amazing interview. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that was such an amazing and inspiring conversation with Nim. She has managed to accomplish so much since the start of her immigration journey. And not only has she inspired individuals through her business and media interviews, but she also gives back. Nim is currently supporting charitable organizations in the United States like the Shields and Stripes, which provides rehabilitation for mental and physical wounds to first responders and military veterans. Nim also supports building playgrounds around the world through the Be Good, Do Good, and Spread Good nonprofit organization in Phoenix, Arizona. Nim plans on supporting the building of hospitals in Nicaragua for burn victims after she interviewed Vivian Palace, who was a burn victim herself and now on a mission to build hospitals for burn victims. Nim, to say the least, is a very busy woman. She could have settled and allowed her unfamiliarity with the culture and language in the United States to limit her, but instead she went all in and educated herself and asked the right questions and surrounded herself with people who were much more connected than she was, and through these strategies was able to create a successful career for herself. Taking a leap of faith helped Nim on her journey, which I hope inspired you to get clear about what you want for your life and for you to go all in. To learn more about Nim, visit transforminganxiety.com/54. If you enjoyed this interview, please be sure to share it with someone else who may benefit. There's so much negative attention towards immigrants on the news, but that's because we don't hear about the hard work and contribution immigrants make on a daily basis to make this country great. Let's change that perception and support and cheer on anyone that's willing to work hard and contribute to society. Until next time.